Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment as we have actually now two Tennessee Titans headlines from the draft of 2022. One just dropped and we're getting more details on that. Hassan Haskins was arrested yesterday, and wow, there is some drama going on there. But we'll still talk about the more notable of the two things that happened in the last 24-ish hours, and that is offensive tackle, right tackle, Nicholas Petit-Frere being suspended for 6 games for violating the NFL's sports betting and gambling policy. And ouch! Okay, now, this is not even to say that Nicholas Petit-Frere is a great right tackle as of this moment, because I think we all think he's okay, mediocre at best. But hey, he was a rookie, and this guy can improve. And at the very least, we had one offensive line position going into the offseason that we believed that we didn't really have to worry about. Some people discuss, hey, maybe potentially moving Nicholas Petit-Frere to, guard or something, but everyone presumed that he would definitely be starting the season if healthy. Well, he violated the NFL's gambling policy. Now, here's the thing when it comes to this, because, we're always going to have discussions about this specific part of the policy, because he's being suspended for 6 games because he violated the policy in terms of the rule of not betting on other sports within the team facility. You can't do it. If you're in the Titans locker room, if you're on the practice field, if you're in the bathroom, if you're in the damn shower, you cannot go on FanDuel and say, you know what? I like the Lakers tonight. You can't do it. If you're outside of the facility, for some reason you can do it. But when you're inside the facility, you can't do it. Now, does this make sense to me as a rule? That part of the rule, no. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, I argue, though, I don't like the idea of even athletes betting on their own sport. I think that should also be banned, though, because look, if I'm in the NFL and I just graduated from Alabama, do I have inside information on Alabama? Yeah. Or even other college players that, I became friends with? Yeah. So you might have insider info on, this running back is hurt. Now, I guess you can make that argument for any citizen that, hey, if I know a Titans player is hurt and I can bet the under for him, it's legal for me. Sure. But I just think for the NFL and for that track of college football, NFL, college basketball, NBA, I just don't like that. I think you just should not be allowed to bet on your league and then anyone associated with your sport in the track. Now, I guess you could say that would extend to the XFL and some of that. That's a good argument. How far do you go with that? I say at least, the Division I and the NFL. I would. That's just me. I think I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that. But obviously, you cannot bet in your own league, especially your own team, Isaiah Rodgers. It's just, now that's dangerous, because then that's how you get into the territory of teams or players potentially throwing games, risking it all. Now that's too messy. That's why I wouldn't even touch the same sport. Personally, I wouldn't touch the same sport. If you happen to be friends with basketball players and you have the intel, I think that's the same as me being friends with the basketball players and having the intel. But if I came from Division I and I have those ties, I don't think you should be able to bet in a league you were ever in. How about that? If you were ever in the league, I don't think you should be allowed to bet in it. Maybe that even should be, or maybe you have to be out for 3 years. If you're retired, being retired for 1, 2, 3 years, okay, now, or 5 years, there should be some sort of statute. Is betting, should Nicholas Petit-Frere be able to bet on an NBA game in the Titans locker room? Sure. But that's the rule. And apparently he didn't know the rule. Okay, apparently this is not just him, being negligent, knowing the rule and saying, you know what, they're not going to catch me. No, apparently he was ignorant. And he's not the only one. Jamison Williams, the wide receiver for the Lions, was the same thing. And a couple other players that have gotten 6-game suspensions were the same thing. I want to know when, Mike Vrabel and the NFLPA, and, but specifically, I think the Titans organization, whenever these gambling rules were put into place, should have said, okay, we're going to go over the rules and we're going to make sure that no one breaks the rules. We are going to spell the rules out clearly so that we do not have players being suspended, or hell, we could have draft picks taken away or whatever. We don't want our team being affected because of these rules. I guess Vrabel didn't do that. Nicholas Petit-Frere saying he didn't know, which means Vrabel didn't enforce it, which means the Titans organization didn't enforce it. So this is kind of on us. It's on him. But to be honest with you, let's just be real for a moment. Okay, do we know each and every single rule? For instance, whenever you're signing a contract at work, now it depends on your job, right? Let me tell you, I'm a software engineer. Now, this is a little different. I wouldn't be suspended for something, but there are things, and hell, there are things that change. I'll give you a great example. This is a great example. So when I started my job, right, ChatGPT did not exist. When ChatGPT was created, you know what the first thought a lot of software engineers had? Hey, why don't I use this to write a little bit of my code or help me out with my code? But what did I do? Before even doing that, I said, you know what? I want to wait until I see what our company's policy is on this. And I don't know. I literally did not know what my company's policy was on using, some of these free AI tools, because they really weren't a big thing when I started in 2019. It's only in the last 2 years, and really the last year they're a big thing. So I said, I'm not using any of these tools until I know. They came out and said, obviously don't give up any confidential parts of our code or software or processes or anything. But if it will help you in the way that you use Stack Overflow, and some of the other resources that we use, then it's perfectly fine. Okay, now I know the policy. So when you have to be a little neurotic as a player, and he wasn't neurotic enough, but, he is the only one on the team that also, got suspended as of right now, and hopefully that remains to be the case. So when you're the only one that got caught, I think everyone wasn't betting for a reason, because let me tell you, when I'm hanging out with my friends, with my boys, I think every single Friday or Saturday night, someone's putting a bet down. If we're at a bar, someone's putting a bet down on something. I know a friend that bets every day. So betting is a very normal thing amongst men. So if I'm in a locker room and no one has ever bet on an NBA game or discussed it or anything, why would I do it? It seems to me that it was enforced, because then I feel like you would have had not just one player for the whole season. No, dog. I mean, there had to be, and look, these players don't really need the money. And maybe a lot of them don't gamble because they don't need the money. Maybe a lot of us gamble because we do need the money, or we believe we need the money, even though a lot of you people lose, and I lose a lot too, and you don't even really win that much. But I would believe that throughout the course of an entire 4, 5, 6 month season, because this includes the off season, I don't think you can even do it in the off season. How is he the only one? The only way is if, no, they knew, and he maybe wasn't paying attention enough, and that's on him. And I don't know. So I'll tell you this, though. This doesn't bode well for his career, because he had a mediocre rookie year. Now he's missing the first 6 games of this season. Wow. Do we now have to worry about right tackle? We just figured out maybe left tackle, or at very least left guard. So now we don't even know which one of those we figured out. It's ridiculous. So makes no sense what's going on there. But now our right tackle situation is hell. So look, and people are already, wondering what should we do. So Daniel Brunskill, yes, He used to play at right tackle a little bit. He's a career backup. Did he play fine there? Yes. So fine. You could put him there and then, have Jamarco Jones and Jalen Duncan, our 6th-round rookie out of Maryland, have them battle it out and see what happens. Great. Our offensive line stinks. On paper, it's awful. Oh. So you thought, hey, we were just getting excited because Burks is looking good and Okonkwo's looking good. And hell, even Kyle Phillips is looking decent and might actually stay on the field. Might, maybe, we don't even know. Might, maybe. Just as you were getting excited, just as things were turning the corner, this hits and it hurts. And this is the first of many because, there's going to be a player or two, and God forbid, but there's going to be a player or two that gets hurt in training camp. And then now hopefully it's less than recent years. Hopefully we don't have a Harold Landry. Hopefully we don't have a Taylor Lewan, although he got hurt actually in the season. But still, hopefully we don't have those things. Probably going to happen. It better not happen to this offensive line, although at this point, how could it get worse? I mean, the only good player that we have on the O-line, we hope Brunskill is good. We don't know if he's good. And Skoronski. I think even in his rookie year, he's going to be good. And then probably, Dylan should at the very least be okay. The offensive line stinks. So keep your expectations tempered, but this is what I've been saying, so nothing's really different there. So we move on from that to now this. Hassan Haskins, former running back for the Michigan Wolverines, got arrested yesterday. He is out on bond now. Now, I'm going to read this story because this story is absolutely crazy. And look, I don't want to get too much into people's personal lives, but this is something that I don't understand, guys. Look, I don't make that much money. I don't make nearly as much as Hassan Haskins, although he has to pay taxes, and even then I don't make as much as he does. Not even close. So I don't understand when you reach a certain level as a man. Hell, for me, it was high school even. I couldn't take this disrespect. Why do men and women take these toxic relationships? I'll let you in on a secret. I've never been in love. Now, I've been infatuation. I've been infatuated with women. I have a relationship with women. I've actually never been in love with a woman. So maybe this is what love is. Maybe it's this toxic. I don't need this crap. Okay? I'd much rather just get laid. If this is really what it goes down into it, I'm good. So this is what happened. Tennessee Titans running back Hassan Haskins was jailed Thursday after reportedly strangling girlfriend Micaiah Green when she liked another man's Instagram photo. In a subsequent argument over their breakup, Hassan Haskins reportedly kicked a door in their home and cocked a handgun and stated, "I hope you would," as she threatened to slash his tires after ripping a $5,000 chain from his neck. She was also jailed during a second argument over their breakup. So he's been jailed over it. She's been jailed over it. According to police records, Haskins observed his girlfriend, and that's the summary. This is actually the whole story again. So according to police records, Haskins observed his girlfriend like an Instagram photo of another man around noon on June 22. The two argued, and as she began to throw his shoes on the floor, causing him to be angered and demand she stop touching his things. When she didn't stop, he reportedly pushed her to the ground, causing an injury to the back of her head. Now, this is not a dating advice channel, but people, let me tell you something. If I dated anyone, and I mean literally, I could be dating Rihanna. If that woman ever yells at me, and I mean like you cannot even raise your voice to where I think you yell at me, I'd be like, what the hell are you yelling at me for? And that's damn near breakup territory for me. If you actually are yelling at me, nah, because first of all, I'm not yelling at you back. That's crazy. Anything that I would be so mad to yell at you about, well, I'm leaving. There's really, and I would not be mad because you liked another man's Instagram photo, even if that's your ex, whoever, I really don't give a damn. Toxic, hella toxic. Then when you start throwing my things, well, I'm already done with you. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't have you around my children. You can't birth and bear my children? Are you crazy? Any woman that's throwing anything. That's crazy, guys. I mean, come on. Look, if that's love, I'm good. I don't need that in my life. Throwing anything. You're not going to throw nothing. Nothing. Let's continue. So, she says he then pulled her from the closet and as she fought back, tossed her onto the bed where he strangled her with both hands for approximately 10 to 15 seconds. Once he released her, the two exchanged slaps and continued fighting. He eventually threw her to the ground where she fell atop a dog crate and was strangled a second time. He fled the home shortly after, and she took photos of bruises to her face, neck, and shoulder, which she provided to police. Fast forward a week later. They're still together. By the way, I had that parenthetically. Hassan and Micaiah are at Bourbon Steak by Michael Mina eating dinner and discussing potentially ending their relationship. He abruptly left the restaurant, leaving her to wait for an Uber to return home. She returned home to find Haskins already inside. She threw a glass at him, shattering it. Toxic. And then locked herself inside the bedroom. She says Haskins kicked and punched the door, breaking it in half so he could enter. During the subsequent argument, she ripped a $5,000 chain from his neck, breaking it. Haskins then shattered her phone, which was on the nightstand. He then retrieved Haskins' old iPhone so she could call her mother. When she turned on the phone, she said the screen filled with notifications and messages from his Snapchat, and it was a barrage of naked women and chats with them. She then shattered that phone and then assaulted him physically, which she says was from being extremely upset. Micaiah then retrieved a knife from the kitchen and moved toward the garage to slash the tires of his vehicle. Haskins reportedly cocked the gun and said, "I hope you would." Wow. And then this continues. During an interview with police about the second incident, Hassan says that she attacked him with a broom and strangled him from behind, threw his PS5 from upstairs, and put a hole in the wall. He provided video of her with the broom during the second incident that showed her strangling him, hitting him with the broom, and throwing a bottle of water at him. He then showed the police a red bump on his back that he believed was caused by her assaulting him. And surprisingly, he lives on Old Hickory Boulevard, which I don't know why he lives there. Now that's a very long road, by the way, but he could live in a better part of Nashville than that, depending where he is. I guess if he's in Bellevue, it's not that bad. So, this is toxic. Is this enough to cut him? Or, to make him be cut tomorrow? I don't know. The NFL is very inconsistent with this. I mean, Tyreek Hill got away with worse behavior. Well, I don't know about worse. Similar behavior than this. The difference is Tyreek Hill is much more talented. Hell, Tyreek Hill got in an incident last week, like a week and a half ago, with some dude. Like, he and some of his friends were trying to get a boat, and then the boat guy wouldn't give it to him, so he smacked him on the back of the neck. Why are y'all touching people? I don't know how some of y'all were raised. And I know you're NFL players, you make money, you have high testosterone, and whatever. It's ridiculous. So he could get cut from this. I think no one cares. Because at this point, we have Ty J. Spears, and he really didn't show anything last year anyway. But this goes to show men and women. Don't take this crap. I just don't understand it. I just don't look. And maybe I'm not passionate. I haven't been in passionate love. Maybe, people. Maybe. But this is ridiculous. I mean, this is absolutely preposterous. So, Ty J. Spears, you're up. And then, hell, maybe even Mekhi Sargent can now make the team, because with this, it's going to be hard for Hassan Haskins to justify himself staying on the team. So, with that said, those are my thoughts on Nicholas Petit-Frere and Hassan Haskins. What are your thoughts on these two men? These two sophomores, rising sophomores for the Tennessee Titans, while Traylon Burks and Chigo Konko are rising, Nicholas Petit-Frere and Hassan Haskins are diving. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.